95 Network. This is Open Line.
Well, good evening and welcome into Open Line. I'm Chuck Long, glad to be along with you for the next hour. We've got an exciting show ahead, one of the most popular we do when we do this hour on Open Line. It's Ask an Attorney. One of your very favorites is here with us for the entire hour. That is Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm. Anytime Kevin's here, just forewarning you, the phones get really, really busy. So, here's Kevin. It's great to see you.
Good to see you, Chuck. I always look forward to when you're here. You bring a lot of fun and enthusiasm to the show. And you know, Chuck, we really do enjoy doing this show because we love to give out some information that is valuable to all these families and their children and their neighbors and co-workers. So we want to encourage you. If you've got a question, call. There's no such thing as a silly question. And there's about 10,000 people out there that would love to know the answer, but they might be a little hesitant to call. So please feel free to do it.
Absolutely. And you know, the thing that is so nice about this show is when you think about some of those topics that you're wondering about, you sit at home, you talk with your family, you talk with your friends, whether or not it's about, I mean, we've got so many things that we cover. Criminal law, personal injury, injured in a car wreck, injured on the job, family law, bankruptcy, estates.
It's true.
Wills, so many topics that you want to know about, and this is where you get the great advice. And Kevin, you guys, you have an amazing firm, the Kennedy Law Firm.
Thank you so much.
Really do. 3 top-notch. You've got some of the best lawyers in the state.
Wow.
And you've been around for a long time.
You got to hear this. One of the guys said he was a great marketer and he was doing an analysis. He said, now, would you have the people in your law firm represent your family? It's a great question.
That is.
He said, if you can't answer yes, then you got a messed up deal. And so who would I go to? I would go to my own organization. I trust those people. They've proven time and time again that they're on it. And I've got some of the greatest researchers I've ever known. And I'd say, well, look at this. You know, one of my talents has been strategy all these years. So I can look at a situation and say, well, we ought to consider this, 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 and bring in the options. I said, well, you look. And when these guys come in, they say, Mr. Kennedy, we got it. I said, have you got it? They say, we got it. I said, that's it. Let's go.
That is.
What I love to hear him speak with confidence, and I've had the trust. And you know, I check them all the time. Really, how good are you? Because I'll throw one out. I said, can you find this? And I've had one. He was supposed to be a really, really top notch. This was 20 years ago. Computer whiz. I said, can you find this? And he went. He said, Mr. Ken, I don't believe they've got it. I said, well, you look again. And he looked, and then when he came back, he said, it's not there. And I pulled out my drawer, and I had it. But I just wanted to know, how can I lean on you? If you can deliver in the little deals, I'll give you the big deals. And then we move together. Because I want to feel confident when I tell a client, you know, most important thing is to do best for the client.
Well, and your firm has the experience, too.
Yes.
You've seen so many of these cases.
Wow.
You've done the research. You know what to do when they come to you. And, I mean, and that makes a big difference.
You know, one of my friends, he said, your experience will protect you. So if you're in a jam and you came to us with that experience, it protects you. And so, you know, from the criminal law to the big cases that will give you the nerve-wracking, because if it's big money or big risk, it is nerve-wracking for the best. And I think learning a cool head and coming back, and I'm known kind of for the fallback position. You know, they say, okay now, Kev, and I said, we're going to fall back for a second, we'll regroup, and then we'll hit them again.
That's the way to do it.
And so,
Kevin, the phone's already getting busy. If you're watching right now and you have a thought, you have a comment, you have a question, the number's there on your screen. It's 615-737-7587. Get on the line with us. Even if you're asking for a friend or a family member, that's just fine. We're going to go to the lines right now. So Lexi's on the line with us. Lexi, good evening. Welcome to Open Line. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Hi, I actually have, well, first I want to say, Mr. Kennedy, I watch you on Open Line the last Thursday of every month. I think you're awesome, and I just want to say thank you for doing this and really helping so many people and answering our questions.
Well, you're very sweet, Lexi. Thank you so much. That's a wonderful comment.
So my question concerns a car accident. If someone hits you from behind, is it absolute liability? And when do you think someone should hire an attorney when it comes to something like that?
Good question.
Great question.
We hear it all the time. So these guys come in and they say, well, they ran in the back end of me. As a general rule, that's a pretty good case. And that's the kind of cases that lawyers that do personal injury, they really like that, because you really put the insurance company of the other side against the wall. Now, is it absolute? Remember, there's always exceptions to the exceptions. For instance, if Chuck and I were riding when we left tonight, and I said, Chuck, don't pull out in front of that car. And if Chuck just pulled right out and they hit us in the back end, those guys have got a good argument. It was unavoidable. But again, what we would say, there's another Tennessee statute that says you must keep your car under control at all times. Well, obviously they didn't. So it leaves a dispute. So if I had to get, you know, one of my favorite lawyers said, Kevin, get one end of the stick, but try to get the big end. And I said, okay. And so we would like that. 99% of the time, yes, when they run in the back end of it, that's a clear case of liability. And it's another good question. Do I go to the doctor? Do I wait till I finish treating? No, no, no. Go to the lawyer immediately, because the insurance companies will say, hey, I want to talk to you. They are tape recording you. I hope you're listening. And every word you say will be used against you. And, you know, I'll never forget, someone ran in the back end of me. And it was a young girl, and this is years ago, and she was just falling. She said, oh, it doesn't get any worse to run in the back of Kevin Kennedy in a Rolls Royce. Oh, no. And I said, well, listen, and I was trying to be really nice, and I didn't want her to feel aggravation, but I knew that that's going to be an expensive car to fix. So the insurance company gave me a little hard time. I said, I cannot believe this. Why didn't we just settle? So I would say again, call the lawyer, let the lawyer do the talking for you. We're in a very litigious society, Chuck. Absolutely. And I've told you, if they came in and it just doesn't feel right, whether it's police or somebody from CID, FBI, whoever, I'm saying, Chuck, you try to just get their card and let me call them. Let me talk to them and find out what they want. You don't have to make these statements, and that's where your lawyer can make a big difference and protect you.
Okay, great advice, Lexi. Thank you so much for the call. And like we were saying at the top of the show, one of the best things about this entire hour is a lot of the questions that come through, a lot of the comments that come through, they're things that we could all learn from. And I was just wondering about that exact question that Lexi just asked, so we appreciate that.
Thank you, Lexi.
We're going right back to the phones, though. Ryan is on the line with us. Good evening, Ryan. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yeah, I call him fairly occasionally, and he probably remembers me. My buddy Mark Scruggs, he helped me.
Yes, I do remember you. Good to hear from you tonight. Go ahead.
I was wondering, are you involved in any charities, and do you do any pro bono work? And is it always good when you talk to the police, answer basic question, yes or no, but then say, hey, listen, anything else, you know, you say I need to call my lawyer, or would you tell the police officer, would you like to talk to my lawyer? Would the police officer like to talk to my lawyer?
I'll hit you here. First off, yes, I've always been big on public service, community service. I love that. You know, so many times the Kennedy Law Firm, my brother Bruce, he said, this community really needs to get, and I said, he said, because we answer so many questions. And many times you don't want to spend any money, you just like to have a question answered. Well, we do that all day long, every day, and we're glad to do it. The other question, I can't remember what his last, do you remember the third part of the question? Oh yeah, if the police were to question you, if I was under investigation, I do not want to talk to the police. I would hire a lawyer, and I'd let my lawyer contact. So if the detectives came up and threw the card down and said, well, you know, we're investigating this, we'd like to talk to you, I'd say, thank you for the card, and we'll get right back with you. And then I'd let my lawyer find out what this is all about. You know, are you afraid that something could happen? There can be misinterpretations of what Chuck said and I said. So I want no misunderstanding whatsoever. And so, you know, when you talk to an FBI agent, again, it's a crime if you were to tell a lie. Well, you said, I didn't mean to lie. Well, they may say, well, this is not the correct facts. And you say, well, And again, most of the time, you and I don't carry around a tape recorder recording everything that we're being said, but you never know what one of the law enforcement officers have a voice-activated recorder, and because they're trained, they spend their life trying to get to the bottom.
And you know, and it's interesting too, because you can have two people that see the same thing.
Tell it. Come
and
on,
I'm telling you, we both say the almost opposite thing sometimes. It's all about how you see it.
In one of my great closing arguments that I developed years ago, and I won like 10 jury trials, I used that argument was so effective about things are not always as they appear. And when the jury hears that and you lay it out rationally and reasonably, you say, you know, he's right. There's not enough proof for me to convict this person. And so, yes, we all want to be open-minded, and then that's why you need the advocate working on your behalf to say, this just doesn't add up, A, B, and C. Now, if you ask the prosecutor, he's going to say, oh, no, it's A, B, and C. But that's why we have jury trials, and that's why we have defense lawyers, and that's why you need one to take care of your interest.
Absolutely. So if you're just tuning in, we are glad you're here. Open line, this is Ask an Attorney. So if you have any question, any comment about something that you want to talk to an attorney about, this is attorney, of course, Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we've got a lot of folks on the line with us. We'll get to as many calls as we can, but get online quick. 615-737-7587. We're back right after this.